Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight, and I hope for most of you tomorrow as well. I'm Marilyn Fedak. I'm the founder of the modestly entitled Marilyn G. Fedak Capitalism Project. Well, if not me, who, you know? But it is my privilege to kick off the third annual Adam Smith Society National Meeting. And I can't tell you how excited I am to be doing it. I think, as most of you know, the Adam Smith Society was co-founded by me and the Manhattan Institute just about 4 years ago. In the wake of the financial crisis, we became concerned that the free markets were coming under increasing attack. Our fears were grounded in more than just the pragmatic benefit of capitalism. You know, job creation, social mobility, personal growth. While, of course, these characteristics are critical to a healthy, robust economy, we saw even more at stake. The personal freedoms of our country are dependent upon an economy that allows all of its citizens to better him or herself. If that linchpin of our society were to fall, then the very future of it could be in jeopardy. With this in mind, we thought long and hard about how best to fight the anti-capitalist forces. We determined that an association that was targeted at business school students, the future leaders of the business community, would be the most effective way to leverage our impact. Thus, the first Adam Smith program was launched at Harvard Business School in 2011. Our mission was to create an environment where MBA students could study the philosophical principles underlying different economic systems, and importantly, critically, to understand the moral basis of capitalism. Since that modest beginning, the Society has grown by leaps and bounds. We now have 20 student chapters at the finest business schools in the country, and now you can all pat yourselves on the back because you are all at those 20 finest business schools, and you are. We have 3 professional associations and over 2,400 members. I can't tell you how exciting this is to us. It's been an amazing trajectory, and one that I don't think any of us would have dared predict when we started 4 years ago. We were able to mount this growth largely due to the fact that so many other individual philanthropists and foundations have joined us in this mission. Thank you all. I mean this sincerely. We couldn't have accomplished half of what we've done without you. Now, we will continue to grow, adding other business school chapters regularly. But over the past year, we've changed our focus a little bit. What we have really tried to concentrate on is how we can best support you, our members, both while you're in business school and as you launch your careers. We've received much feedback from you on this topic. You are not a shy or a retiring group, and that's a good thing. And what you have told us have touched upon matters, I would say, both kind of macro and micro. But at the end of the day, so many of them really filter down to kind of two key questions that you have asked us. First, how can I best support the idea that business is a force for good in our society? And second, how can I communicate most effectively my belief in our free market system? It was those questions that have been crucial in guiding our initiatives. So I'm going to take you through some of these initiatives within that context. First, with regard to our on-campus speaker programs. Now, initially, we focused on business leaders, those who share our philosophy. Our idea was that by using business celebrities, we could attract the most interest in our fledgling society. Thus, in our first years, we provided chapters such as Steve Forbes, John Mackey of Whole Foods, Cliff Asness of QR Capital, you're going to see in a little while. And that program, that initiative, was and remains very successful. But you have told us that you also wanted to hear from two other types of speakers. The first were those of a more philosophical or academic bent. So we brought to our chapter such luminaries as Jim Otteson, the executive director of the BB&T Center for the Study of Capitalism at Wake Forest University, and one of the nation's foremost Adam Smith scholars. We also have had Adrian Woolridge of The Economist speak to many of you on his latest book, The Fourth Revolution, and Nobel laureate Michael Spence on economic growth. You also wanted to learn more about topical issues and their intersection with free market philosophy. And so we enticed a number of Manhattan Institute and other scholars to come to your campuses to speak on their areas of expertise, including income inequality, green jobs, solar energy, and tax aversions. And by the way, the depth of intellectual capital at the Manhattan Research Institute, some of which will be on display tonight and a lot tomorrow, is a resource for you, not only while you're in business school, but throughout your careers. And I think that will be enormously beneficial to you. You also wanted to help you influence those students who might be less committed to a free market system. So we began encouraging debates that would explore both sides of today's complex economic and policy issues. To date, our chapters have held debates on such topics as the Affordable Care Act, the Federal Reserve and Dodd-Frank, green jobs, the triple bottom line, and the future of capitalism. And we expect that you'll hold many more in the future. The idea here is not only to influence those who may not agree with our viewpoints, well, at least at first, but also to help you sharpen your skills to be able to debate both formally and informally with others as you go out. Our second initiative has been to address your appetite for a deeper understanding of the philosophy behind different economic systems. So we partnered with Jim Otteson and Encounter Books to create an Adam Smith Society reader. It's entitled What Adam Smith Knew: Moral Lessons on Capitalism from Its Great Champions and Its Fiercest Opponents. The book is a collection of classic essays that discuss how different economic systems serve moral goals, including liberty, equality, social order, and virtue. And as the title suggests, it's not just from the proponents of capitalism, but from some of its fiercest critics. And by the way, there are complimentary copies of the book in your bags. I hope you enjoy reading it as much as I have. Third, you wanted more information on how to think about topics of current importance and their intersection with free market principles. Now, until now, much of this has been available to you online via Manhattan Institute newsletters and reports. But what we heard from you was that you simply didn't have the time to comb through everything that was being thrown at you. So I'm happy to announce that in the next few weeks, we will be launching a newsletter just for Adam Smith Society members. It will feature links and news and opinions on current business and public policy issues, as well as links to classic texts and book recommendations from some of the business leaders in our network. We hope you enjoy it, and we look forward to your feedback. And finally, we always knew that we wanted to support our members as they entered into the business world. But our vision of what form that may take has kind of morphed in the recent years, again, heavily reliant on your feedback to us. One of the things you've told us is that the opportunity to meet with like-minded peers at different business schools has been of great value to you. So to provide you with the same opportunity after you graduate, we have, as I mentioned earlier, started 3 professional associations. They're in New York, Chicago, and Austin. We're planning to start several more over the next few years, beginning with San Francisco this spring. We're also launching, at this conference, industry-based networking sessions for members in investment management, investment banking, management consulting, technology, private equity, and assorted startups. And we hope to host more of these regionally in coming years. As you can doubtless tell from these initiatives, this has been a very exciting and a very busy period for the Adam Smith Society. And we owe it all to you guys, to the people here today, and your fellows around the country. And we thank you all from the bottom of our hearts. Look, I am personally so proud that the Manhattan Institute and I came up with the idea of the Adam Smith Society 4 years ago. But we are keenly aware that we would be nowhere today without your passion for our free market system and your commitment to supporting it. You understand in a way that much, I would say most of my generation did not, that only truly free markets can result in equality of opportunity and the ability for all to raise themselves. Only business can create real opportunities via new jobs. Only innovation can improve productivity and improve our quality of life. Bill Boulding, the dean of Duke's Fuqua School of Business, said a year ago, "There's more of an opportunity to make positive change through business than ever. Business will be the transformational engine of the 21st century." Well, I agree with that, but I also think that it's important to remember that it's just like there is no such thing as government without the citizens. There is no such thing as business independent of its leaders. You, the students in the room today, and your classmates around the country, are the future leaders of the business community that will lead this charge for positive change. That is why it's so critical that we have an Adam Smith Society and why we need to support you while you're in school and throughout your careers. The mission you are embarking on is not going to be an easy one. It's very hard to move the course of a big ship that has gone so far down as ours has in this country. But we know that with your passion, your creativity, your talent, and your ambition, you will succeed for the sake of your future, the future of your children, your grandchildren, and our country. And for that, I and everyone at Adam Smith thanks you. And now, it's time to turn the podium over to the main event of this evening's program, a fireside chat between Jim Copeland of the Manhattan Institute and Cliff Asness of AQR Capital. To introduce them, I will turn the podium now over to Allison Mangiaro of the Adam Smith Society. Thank you all for coming.